Hello everyone, this is Kat, and welcome back to Project Acceleracers. Today I'm going to do a short tutorial on how to make your own custom realm if you have downloaded the source code. So to do that, you go to Custom Content, Custom Levels, and there might be one or two things right here. You can either duplicate the existing example, or you can right mouse button and create an empty level. The example level right here has already a few things inside of it. I'm gonna make my camera a little bit slower so you can see. So we have this starting point called player start. Player start, if you want to make it as close to the ground as possible, you should put it right around here. It might say bad size, that's fine. You at least you want to be able to see this yellow ring. You can put it up higher, of course, but then your car might be falling like a meter or so to the ground when you spawn in. Then we have our Skybox together with a directional light and a skylight right in the middle. We have a track spline, and we got a portal. If you want to set this kind of stuff up from the ground up, I'm gonna go create a new level. You can give it any level name you want. I'm just gonna call it example real quick. When you load it, you have a black screen. If you want to add the skybox, you have to go to your content folder. Then you'll have a good sky folder, which has a blueprint. And here is your skybox. The skybox can be configured in quite a few ways. If you want it to be dynamic, you're going to have to go to lights over here and add a directional light into your level. And if you go back to your good sky by just clicking it here or physically clicking it in the level, then you can say, well, here's my directional light, and it will automatically like change it in terms of time of day. And if you disable that and re-enable that, it should, yep, there we go, it goes up. And if you enable the auto day-night cycle and then give it a certain length, that is when the sun rises and goes down. However, if you don't want that, you can simply go for different presets. For example, you want to have a cold style, or if you even want to have snow style, get a bit more white. There's a lot of options in here. You also want to can put in your storm, stars, etc. You can put up your different clouds, coverage, different kinds of clouds, how much they are covered, what kind of effect you want to have, sun, stars, the moon, whatever you want to have there. And you can select whether you want to have a sphere or a hemisphere. In the case of a hemisphere, you can see it's only half, well, if the sphere is full. If you want to have a full skybox, you simply press Ctrl C and Ctrl V to copy and paste it, and you can put it upside down. And there's your full skybox. And yeah, it's two directional. If you want to change the, you would be able to select both of them at the same time to actually get the both of them changed at the same time. So do keep that in mind. If you want to change the Skybox settings, make sure to select both of them if you have two. The portal is right in the root folder, really easily accessible. Your symbol, you can say you would have realm logo right here. See, there's a lot of different logos. We already imported most, or if not all, realms. So, for example, if you want to have the canyon realm, they might be like rotated. So you can simply change that by rotating it in the level. But if you want to be able to set a record time for this level, you wouldn't be able to view it, except if you actually go duplicate the save file and then open it with a textpad editor. Because once you open it, it has a pretty likely chance of getting corrupted. So do keep that in mind. You can't really view the records on these. What you can do, if you just want to save them, make sure to put level out as the name of whatever you put in, like in the name of the level. In my case, example. Level in can be ignored because this code and the run of the portals are all kind of the same, and that's all related to ultimate race and wheel of power. And yeah, you don't really touch on the other ones. You can put the emissive level is how bright the portal is, and you can put this one as how bright the symbol is, as well as the color of the symbol. You can simply drag it around, and if you like scale this one up, it's gonna get wider because it is brighter, and of course brightness is white light. And lastly, if you want to be able to make your level unlock a car, you can check this one to true and type in the name of the car. And to double check the names, you can go into the UI folder and then to the main menu and then go into car selection. And over here on the on the left side, you can, for example, synchro here, you can see car name synchro. You can copy that, paste it into here. So that would be synchro and set it to true. And if you were to finish it, that's where what car you would unlock. For the start, you would have to go back to basic here and drag out the player start. It has a direction, as you can see. By rotating it, it also defines the direction you will be facing when you spawn. It can also be rotated on the other axis. That's also possible. And then lastly, we have the track spline. Put it in here. You can rotate it around. And if you want to change this one, you have to select these tiny little white cubes, and you can drag those out. Then by right mouse clicking in the middle, you can say add spline point, and then you can move that one individually as well. You see these each point has these lines which only pop up when you are have the one specifically selected. By moving around these, you can turn it around. You can also, if you pull it out, it basically increases the influence this point has compared to these 2 points. So yeah, in this case, it will be way more like how the road is going to be this direction before turning, compared to if you draw it in, it will be much a tighter corner. What you can also do is just click on this point and rotate this one. That also works, as you can see here. And lastly, if you want to change the scale of the road, I would highly advise first changing your scale to between 7 and 10 right here. So 7, 7, 7. That would be a more appropriate scale for like a normal road. But if you want to change the scale of one individual piece, you press R, and you can simply scale it up and down. You might get these little artifacts in the middle because of how the spline system works. But by dragging this one out further, you would notice those less. And also, if I made this one larger, you would also notice that less. And another point to note is that the final point can only be scaled by changing the number right here. It cannot be scaled using this tool because of some complications in how I wrote the code. So there's your spline. If you want to change the material on it, it has 4 slots. That's the center of the line, then center to the edge, then the edge, and then the side wall, which is the white parts. For example, I have the ice variant. This one would have reduced grip, for example. You also have the swamp, where the groove would be the middle line, which has higher grip. Then you have the edge, and which would be the sides would have the least grip, and then the middle one would be what would be right in between. And another thing you can change is whatever you want to have in here. So for example, if you want to have the tunnel, you will select your tunnel. And in this case, you would have to reset the materials because it still thinks it is part of the track. So it still has the ice track material on it. But again, you can change that by going in here and say like, I want to have a glass material. In my case, I'll just put in the purple glass. You can see, there you go. You have the pipe. Pipeline realm assets are currently pure meshes, so you can't really use them for this. But we do have normal track and the tunnel to work with. And I do think that you can do quite a lot with these pieces. But if you do have another specific asset that you really need for your custom level, you can always contact me, and see if it can get imported officially. Because for distribution, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to package the project to your local files. So let's say, for example, now I would have here's the package version, and inside here you would have to go to content. Then you would have to go to custom content. And here you can see you would have a UEXP and a UMap asset probably. And what you have to do is simply copy these and paste them into your like you can distribute these to send these to other people. They're only very small files in this case because the level is quite small. But if the level becomes larger, for example, you can see I have right here Cliffside is actually quite a few sets of data. There's these 5. You can see realm Cliffside, Cliffside, Cliffside. It's all different types of extensions to them. But these 5 files will be needed for you to basically, if you made any change to Cliffside, to distribute these for your custom Cliffside. And some of these can get quite large. For example, ice right here is 40 megabytes for the UEXP, 74 megabytes for the U-bulk build data. But you would have to send all 5 of these files, so you're probably going to have to put them on some kind of hosting website in order to distribute those. Lastly, if you want to have some custom stuff, what we have is, in terms of meshes, you can see, for example, Canyon is cliffside assets, pieces of cliffside walls, tunnels, that kind of stuff. You can just simply drag them in and scale them to wherever you want to be. You can simply just drag and drop them from this menu. And most meshes can be found under meshes material textures. If you want to have some special particles, we do have the snow and leaf particles and some other stuff in here. We have the gas giant stuff in here. Is quite complicated stuff. Won't really go into that unless it's really requested. But at the same time, you can just duplicate Cosmic Realm and move it to the custom content folder, and that would work too. You also have the nature pack, which would have spine blueprints, and you can see here it has like the tree, river, tree with spine when out of scale. There's some other stuff in here, vines. So yeah, if you want to have some vines, you would drag these in, and you can create a custom vine based on this little piece. Like it's a bit small, so you probably want to have to scale it up again. So I'm gonna make it 777 and drag this out a little bit before moving it up, so you guys can actually see it. And this spline would work the exact same way. Add a spline point, and another spline point. So there you would have a bit of a vine that you could toy around with. That's mostly it for custom realms. Yeah, there's not much else. I'm still working on the AI. But how it works right now, you can drag and drop an AI spawner right here. It will have a direction as well. It had the red line in this case is the direction forward, but I will probably in the next version it will have an arrow forward facing to indicate which side is forward. But you can in this drop down menu you can select which car you want to have. The base is RDO6, which is the default, and there's also an option for the RDO7. Then if you want to have them drive around, what you're gonna have to do is you have this pathfinding node. You put these in, and on the first one you will say start. You have another one, for example, right here, and you're gonna select, okay, I want to have number 2 as the next in line, and then like for this one you would have to say, okay, I want to have number 3 next in line, and so it will drive from this one to this one to this one, and at the last one you just simply check end, and then they will break after they hit the last one. That will basically be how it works. And yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you will be able to make something work with this, but knowing how there's going to be a pretty massive update in the next few weeks, um, there's going to be some stuff that's going to change about this, so do keep that in mind. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.